On today's episode, we're talking all about planers. I have a special guest host with us today, all the way from Beacon of Hope, Mr. Coan. So today, we're talking about a planer. A planer is a woodshop tool. It has basically one purpose, but it is needed. You can't really replace this with any other tool. And so the purpose of a planer is to smooth one side of a board and also just reduce thickness. So say your board, it's a rough cut lumber and you're at 2 inches and you want to reduce that down to 1 3/4. This tool is going to uniformly make flat to slice off a layer of that wood so you can get down to the thickness you need. Also, we'll see it takes a board that is maybe cupped or has a lip on it and it's going to smooth it out so again you have a nice smooth surface. So when you have rough cut lumber, you can't make furniture with it, right? You're going to have curved edge, you need a nice smooth start. And so we've talked about joiner in another video, and that's going to give you a good starting point. And so you use a joiner to get your rough cut lumber to a starting point. Then once from there, you're going to go to the planer. And so the planer again is, you have to have one smooth edge to get started, and after that you can move forward and get the whole board to the thickness and the straight smoothness that you need. So how the planer works, there's an on-off switch, that's all it is, turn it on, there's one button. And then you just basically raise and lower the blade. Before you adjust the depth, you have to unlock it. So where's the lever to unlock? So you can unlock it, and then how do you raise or lower it?
With this wheel right here, lowering clockwise, raising counterclockwise.
And if you forget, there's little arrows up here on the top that say up or down. And so when you're using, or you're thinning your board, once you go through one pass, you only want to turn the knob about a half crank at the max to lower it, because if you take out more, you're going to stall out the motor, because it only can remove about a 1/16 at a time. Especially on a bigger piece of hardwood, you're not going to get more than a 1/16. So you don't want to stall out the motor or pop a breaker, but if you do, all you got to do is shut off the power, reset the depth, pull the board out, and start again. So it's not a huge deal, but just intentionally do that, and then your power supply button is just this red paddle here. Pull it up to turn it on, slap it down to turn it off. And they always, on these tools, they always have a big button, so it's easy to slap off if you have to. This tool is relatively safe because your fingers are always out of the danger zone. The wood will automatically feed itself like a conveyor belt. Once you put it in, it's going to shoot it out the other side. So you don't have to worry about ever putting your fingers anywhere past basically this sticker. Your fingers should never go past this sticker. If you do that, you're going to be safe. And so besides that, really there aren't a lot of safety things. Make sure you're wearing your hearing protection. Make sure you have eye protection on. When you do that, you are safe and ready to go. All right. So here we have our board. This is a miscut, and it's already stained. But we're going to show you, since it's stained, you're going to see when the planer takes off that smooth layer, you're going to see how it removes a nice uniformly smooth layer. So when you're setting up your depth, you're going to put your piece of wood in like this, and you're going to crank it down till the metal touches. All right. Now after it touches, you're going to go backwards about a half a crank or a whole crank. All right, and you should be good to go from there. So go ahead and lock it in. And whenever you're using a planer, you want to make sure you have dust collection because it makes a whole lot of sawdust. So you're going to turn the dust collection on and back your board out and let everything get up to full speed first. I'm going to flip it on for you. Pass, you can still see a little bit of red, so that means this board wasn't perfectly flat to start out. And so we'll do one more pass to show you, and this will all be completely gone. And so what it did is it just takes a uniform, smooth layer. The blade is going perfectly straight across, and it's spinning on a wheel, and the blade just removes that thin layer the whole way down the board. And again, it's to give you that nice, smooth surface, so when you make your furniture, you have a good starting off point. So let's do it one more time. And so when you lower the blade, again, you want to unlock it. And every time you lower it, you just want to go down about a quarter turn. Otherwise, it'll be too much and you'll stall out the motor. Just turn dust collection on again. just like that, in 2 passes, we went from a mess, not that it was a mess, this was a good project, it was just a mistake, to now a perfectly clean piece of white oak, and now you can restain this without any sanding. You're all ready to go as far as you removed all of this. Can you imagine having to take a sander and remove all this stain? So now you're resurfaced with 2 simple passes, just like that. Here we have a rough piece of cherry. This will be awesome wood to make furniture or some project out of. It's a beautiful piece of cherry, but if you look at it, it's a rough surface. But if you flip it over, I've already jointed this side, so you have a nice smooth surface. But the problem is we need both sides to make our furniture, right? We don't want a rough side and a smooth side. We want all sides to be perfectly smooth and flat. And so this is the main purpose of a joiner, is to take something that's rough cut lumber and make it pretty. So go ahead and readjust the planer.
Down to the metal touches and then back up half turn.
Yep, maybe back up a little bit more on this because there might be a cup on the edge of this board.
All right, so there's a full turn.
Yep, that should be good. Go ahead and lock it in place and back it up and get the motor going. So with a couple passes, now we have a board that has 2 edges that are ready for furniture making. So both sides. So there was the side we started with,
Now the new smooth side.
and now there's the new smooth side. And so again, if you needed to make that thinner, you could keep passing it through, and that's fine, but at this point you are ready to go. You can use this in your furniture. There are the basics to your normal shop planer. These comes in different sizes. There's really large ones or small ones. This can handle about a 12-inch board at the max. And so it's perfect when we make cutting boards because it's perfect cutting board size. And so that's when you guys will be using that when we get to that kind of project. But maybe other woodworking projects, maybe a candy dispenser or something, there's different things, and you're using this rough cut lumber. This is the tool you're going to first start out with to get yourself a good starting point. So this goes in tandem with a joiner. A joiner is going to get you the starting point, and then you're going to move to the planer to get you to that finished step so you're ready to use it. So when you're using a planer, things to remember, again, you need a flat surface to start out with. If you start out with a crooked surface on the bottom, that crookedness is going to get mirrored all the way through. Basically, you're just going to make a skinnier, crooked piece of wood. You're never going to correct and make it flat. So you have to use the joiner first. And you're doing it safety things, again, it's auto feed. The board pulls itself through. You don't need to put your fingers past here. You might want to hold on to the board to guide it to make sure it stays straight. Sometimes the board might want to turn to go crooked just because of the grain pattern. So you can guide it. Also, if you have a buddy to help you out, they can catch it on the other side. You can pass boards back and forth to save some time. But as long as you keep your fingers back here, you should be safe. Make sure you have your safety glasses on, your hearing protection. And then last thing is don't have any loose clothing. So all of us, our sleeves are rolled up or tucked in. We don't have any hoodie drawstrings or anything close to this because you don't want those things. If they get caught in one of the gears, they'll pull your hand in. And that's where the real danger is when loose clothing gets stuck and it pulls you in. And again, if something ever happens, it's a big shut-off switch. You can always hit that, or your buddy can pull a cord. And so always make sure you know where the off switch is or where the cord is. Be prepared to stop it. You have any questions?
No, this is super cool. Thanks for letting me have it.
So thank you guys for watching. Tune in next time for our next episode of Tool Time.